Hello, good morning. I'm just trying to get set up. I had a little bit of technical difficulty just a second ago, so I want to see that that is cleared up. Okay. I'm trying to get it to where there's not a glare on my glass mat, but I really love using this glass mat. So let me try to find the live. And we'll let everybody get situated and find me. Okay. Okay, I found me, so I think I'm findable. Okay, welcome back, guys. It's Carrie, so much glitter. I'm so glad to have you guys here. Happy Sunday. Happy first week of January that is down. I hope everybody had a great week. I wanted to start off like I do my normal lives on Sunday, and I want to start off with some positive quotations. And I want to go ahead and use my positivity jar. I really have kind of been like calling it different things, but what I've been doing once a week for 2026 since New Year's is writing one positive thing or one good thing that happened to me during the week, and I'm filling the jar with it. And then New Year's Eve, when we are getting ready to jump into 2027, which sounds really odd to me, but New Year's Eve 2026, I'll go ahead and empty this out and look at all the positive things that happened to me over the year. So that's a lot of fun. So if you'd like to just drop a hi or a wave and let me know that you're here and you can join in on the creativity. So I'm going to start with the jar and um see, one good thing that happened to me this week was I was late on submitting an assignment because I was sick with bronchitis the past 2 weeks. My professor did not dock me for it, and he also wanted to use my presentation to teach students in his other classes. So I had to sign a permission for that, and he's going to give me a letter of recommendation. So that's pretty exciting. So that's my one positive thing that happened. I had several. I got to spend the morning with my grandson yesterday, and that's always a positive. That's really soul refreshing, if you will. So, hi, Ellen, welcome. I'm going to write down my academic success, and because this is my last year in school, I meant to do two C's. Okay, so we'll just misspell on the Sunday. That's fine. Um, so I only have a few classes left. So I'm going to kind of focus on this because as the year goes on, I'll probably have less of these because I'll have less responsibility for school, which is a big yay. So that'll be one of these too. Um, to use my presentation to teach others. So and that was exciting. My ink stays wet for just a second, but that's okay. So I'm just going to fold this over and I'm going to put it in my jar. And now I have several positive things that have happened to me in 2026 so far. So that's really nice. So I'm going to set that aside. And then I like to read out of my book of positive quotations that I got at my local used bookstore that I'm actually really enjoying this book. And I kind of pick something during the week that resonates with myself. Um, so I can kind of keep on the positive trajectory. And that's just kind of where I'm going with 2026 is really dive into manifesting more positivity and focusing on the good rather than the negative, because if we've been paying attention to the internet at all, we know what they're focusing on. So my quote I picked this week was self-control, and he who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. And the reason why I picked this one is because I did have a meeting with my vice president this week. And this was kind of a topic of like our discussion because I am a supervisor. And so yeah, it was like inspiring others and how to inspire others and be able to conquer yourself and your own feelings and your own biases and things like that. So that could just go in a myriad of ways. So that's where I wanted to start that. I do have a fun project planned today, and I'm going to be using Tracy's kit from Lottie's Magic Attic. That's a tongue twister. I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell first, and then I'm going to show the kit that inspired the journal that I want to make today. And then I'll link it below so you guys can go find her. I did mention last week that I created a paper bag journal for my grandson, for and my daughter-in-law and my son for his first year of life. This is the second journal I ever created because I'm fairly new to journaling. Creating journals is just maybe a year and a half old for me. So I made this out of a paper bag. I did get a Once Upon a Time paper pack from Joann's. Poor Joanne. And then I did use books from my son's childhood books to kind of fill in the journal, but I just wanted to show that, and then I wrote a special note on the back of this, that you can really make a journal out of anything and everything. Like this was a picture from his childhood book. I made like little different documenting marks. Now, no, it's not filled in, but they gave it back to me because they wanted me to fill it in. I think they're a little bit nervous. So I thought before I really start filling that in, because I'm starting to print pictures and stuff for that, and they can probably do the documentation. But I wanted to show really what you could do with a paper bag, honestly. And a lot of this is just another childhood book of my son's, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to use those. I don't wanna rip anything. And then I did a lot of tip outs and tuck spots and things like that. And this was before I had discovered the sellotape from Tim Holtz. I really just kind of like made my own. And I used an alcohol marker, just, and you could use ink too. Like you don't have to purchase that sellotape. I just do because it's easy and it sticks really well for me. And then I did a center spot, and this was just a kit that I got on Etsy, real reminded me of like Beatrix Potter. So I thought that that was a lot of fun because you see there's Peter Rabbit, and my son's nursery was Peter Rabbit when he was little. So anyway, so I just thought that that would be kind of fun to show and what you could do with really anything and create a journal. So before we dive into today's project, and I did do spots for like first Halloween, pumpkin patch, Thanksgiving, first time he was in the snow because they have a cabin up in her family has a cabin up in Big Bear. So Christmas and just different spots. And I just stapled this in. I just used a green staple and stapled a lot of that in. And then this would be the end of the journal, which would end with his first birthday. So I just thought that that was a lot of fun. I wanted to show that because I know I've talked about it several times, but I've not shown it. But I am going to get ready to start like working in it. So I'm going to set that aside. And I didn't buy anything this last week. So yay me. I am trying to like slow my roll and use what I have basically. But I did purchase this from Thrift Books. I don't think I've shown this already, but I was completely influenced by Dee Dee when I saw this. And I love Abandoned Places. I absolutely love it. This book was like $7 and it's a hardback. So I really enjoy this, and there's just abandoned places, and this is throughout the world, and it gives you a description. Completely fascinating. So I did get this to do like some reverse collaging in here and put maybe some other make a scene of a scene basically, and then I was gonna maybe, paint over some of this and just create another scene that maybe went along with this. But I don't know, I really like this book and I kind of don't wanna add anything to it. I'm super fascinated by it, and I've been reading the stories in it. It's like a really good coffee table book. But because it was so inexpensive, honestly, I might keep one as a coffee table book. And thrift books, if you put something on your wish list and they don't have it, they will try to source it from somewhere, or they'll know that there's a demand for it, and it can show up in their inventory and they'll let you know. So I think I might purchase another one because I think it's only like $15 before it's free shipping, and books, it's easy to spend $15 on books, especially some used books that you've had on your wish list for a while. So, I thought that that would be a lot of fun to do some reverse collaging in, but I do want to keep one for myself. I'm pretty sure I do. Um, yeah, abandoned malls. There's abandoned malls in here, which thoroughly fascinates me because that's such a big, sprawling space for it being abandoned, right? So, anyway, that was my little find of the week before, but I didn't show it last week. So, Ellen, you're asking about how I fold the pages in the little journal. So, what I did, I just took a paper bag, and I'll probably do this like honestly, I'm gonna do a Galentine's journal next Sunday, and I'm gonna do a paper bag journal. So stick around for that. So I'll do the full tutorial of how to do it because they're really easy and they're a lot of fun. I just took a paper bag, folded it in half, and then measured my pages. And of course, the whole page isn't gonna get to be on here, right? So you kind of have to pick a spot on the page what you want to focus on and what you want to show. So next week I'm going to be doing a paper bag journal, and it's gonna be like a Galentine's Day paper bag journal. So stick around for that. I'll be really excited to have you guys back. Um, today I want to do a Valloween inspired journal. I love Halloween. I love Halloween strictly because I love decorating for it. And I love spooky, scary, but I also like fun, whimsy Halloween. Um, so And I like Valentine's Day because I don't take down my Christmas tree, and Valentine's Day is another holiday that I can decorate my Christmas tree for and keep it up and prolong it and really not aggravate my daughter who lives with me too bad. And I would like to keep it up for every holiday. I'm just not going to lie, especially because I got a new tree this year and I'm absolutely in love with it. My idea for this journal was to do something similar to what I did with this. And I did this out of a paper book. And if you're not familiar with those, I have a few behind me because I might use some stuff out of it. And a file folder. That's what I did this with. But I think that wouldn't do this justice because a lot of this is directional and I didn't kind of plan for that. Um, so it's fine. I printed a lot of this on landscape, but this was kind of my idea of what I wanted to do. And we're going to have a Friday the 13th next Friday. So that's really exciting. I think I'm going to post a video celebrating that. Um, so I am just going to do a kind of a traditional journal that I tend to do. Um, I'm going to try to stay even here because I know as I take things off my desk and put things on my desk, my vision for you guys changes a little bit. So I'm going to try not to move around a whole lot. Um, because I did clean off my desk, so now I have like extra space and I don't know what to do with some of it. So I'm just going to do more of a traditional journal this week, and I'm going to do my manila envelope journal, and I'm going to take this part out and glue it. You could put a piece of paper in here to really sturdy this up if this is what you want to do. I don't because I decorate a lot of this um I zhuzh it up enough to decorate a lot of it. Now I'm thinking I don't know if I printed enough paper, but I'm probably not going to finish this whole journal on today's live because this is going to be an ongoing journal. But what I want to do is I want to post the kit that I'm using, and it's a Gothic Valentine junk journal kit. I believe that's the name of it. hold on. Yeah, Gothic Valentine Junk Journal Kit, 13 Love Letters, Dark Romance, Ephemera. I really like this kit because a lot of people are into like dark romances, a lot of the spicy books that are out now and kind of inspire that, right? But this is the whole I did not print the whole kit. So this is not the whole kit, but this is the whole thought behind my theme. And I really liked a lot of these images. I did print some of these on my tea dye paper. So this is not going to be as colorful as this and this because this is matte photo paper. I do double-sided matte photo paper, so I don't have to remember what side to put up and what side to put down. And it's really easy for reverse printing. So I like to add some diversity to my journals, if you will. And so I use my tea dyed paper and print on it. And it does come out pretty well. It looks pretty faded. It gives it more of like a vintage vibe to it. I like that. If you don't like that, you could just print it on regular paper. This comes with pockets because this is a really big ephemera kit. So I'm probably going to have to print a few more, I'm thinking, while I'm on here, but it's okay. My printer's right next to me. And so this did come with, I just love the black hats. This did come with sentiments. Um, and you could put in your journal. And I'm just going to flip through this really quick. So this is just kind of a snippet of what this journal has to offer. I love all of the ephemera. I love the cards in here. This is just an amazing little kit. And I think it's on sale on her Etsy right now. That's what it's showing. Let's see. Um, yeah, it is. It's on sale right now. So for Valentine's Day and Valloween and Galentine's Day, whatever you guys celebrate. But I did reverse print on this because this is an envelope and I may have reverse printed upside down. Now I'm realizing, but you know what? No worries because this is just going to be the inside of the envelope and I just didn't want it blank. Um, so I did print off of her 8.5 by 11 portion of the kit and I probably should have printed off of the 12 by 12 portion and fit it down to size. Um, and it wouldn't look so stretched, but I like it. I really like this kit. I think that it's detailed. I love the crows or the blackbirds. I thought they were crows at first, but now up close they could be blackbirds too. I just love all this. Very indicative to a lot of the fiction books that are out right now. Love it. This is probably one of my favorites. And then I love this as well. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I have on the side of me some of my paper books that I'm going to add in this journal. So I'm showcasing Tracy's kit from Lottie's Magic Attic and the 13 love letters. And I want to make this journal basically like a collection of love letters to myself. And that's where this comes in. So at the end of the year, I'm going to write or put all of these in this journal. Um, and if you're sticking around with me through the year, that'll probably be alive. And I'm going to be doing the New Year's Eve streamathon that Raul hosts again next year because he did invite me back, and so he'll start preparing for that in October. And that's probably going to be one of my projects. But so I have paper. I have the Witchcraft collection, which is more of like a Halloween inspired collection. And then I have a new paper, which I purchased when I was on my Christmas break because I happened to be in Barnes and Noble, excuse me. And there it was. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Okay. And it's the Opulent collection, which this is new. These are not inexpensive. These are not inexpensive. I'm not gonna lie to you. They are $35. They're kind of like a big splurge, but I get what 10 or 15% off because of the Barnes and Noble whatever the club, the I don't know what it's called. Of everything. So you get and then you get a free bag I don't know if it's every month or every quarter. And this comes with like a journal within a journal, lots of bookmark possibility, lots of journaling possibilities. So I love membership. Thank you, Ellen. It's Sunday. I lose words on Sunday. I actually did my homework yesterday. And so I don't have to do my homework today. So I'm really excited to like get to folding laundry and gonna watch the Bad Bunny concert later. I hear there's some football in there. Go Hawks. And that's about it. And my diamond painting. So I'm kind of all in my full creative mojo mood. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. But I thought these would be fun to add to this because I think it has, and then this is something new. They haven't done this before, but I think it adds something a little bit fun to when I'm showcasing Tracy's kit. So that's there. And I also had an idea of doing some doilies in this journal. And I did purchase this on Amazon because it was like $5. And so I have different doilies. I want to probably ink these up. Oh, do you? Yeah. Do you love the paper, Ellen? I really like the paper. But so these are like food doilies for like if you're like having a party or hosting something and you can put these on your plates or whatever and kind of zhuzh up paper plates. But I'm gonna be putting these in journals and I'm gonna be coloring them. Okay, so enough of me gabbing. And I'm just going to take this metal hook off. There we go. Oh, I love fairies. Oh, I have the fairy one as well. I absolutely love fairies. I have a whole fairy Goblin Gore coloring book that I received at Barnes and Noble. And I have been coloring different coloring pages out of that just to put in a fairy journal, but I haven't yet started that fairy journal. Um, but good for you, Ellen. You're done with your scabby, so you're like ready to move on to everything. um, but I just take these manila envelopes. I buy like a pack of them at Walmart or the Dollar Tree, just kind of depends on where I am, where they're inexpensive. Glue this down. I take that metal piece out because it will get in the way. And like I said, you could put um a piece of paper in here to make it more stable if that's what you want to do. I find I don't need to do that because I feel I stabilize it enough with the cover, and this is 42 pound paper. And um once you start piling up the paper and decorating and you have like a cover or whatever, it tends to be sturdy and stable enough. But see, I could do now I printed everything in landscape because honestly, I don't know why. I just did. I automatically did yesterday. And now I'm thinking for my cover, that might make it a little bit fussy, right? And I reversed print all of these. I think I'm going to print a few more though, honestly, for my cover. Or what I could do is use paper from my paper journal and make that my cover and then put a lot of like an ephemera pocket on top. I could do that. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards right now. I want to make this more of a flow type journal. And by that, I mean put some elastic in it. I do, when I make a flow journal, I do like to still sew signatures. So I really love this stuff, this beading cord elastic from Hobby Lobby. Um, I like it, and I like to tie this around the edge. And so you can just continue to slide papers in and out. You can fill it up, whatever you want. You could leave the papers loose leaf in here. I don't like to do that because it doesn't feel very stable. Like I'm afraid I'll start losing papers, but that's just me. So I create signatures, sew my signatures together, and then put that in here. So I do like using this for that because I have a lot of, it gives you a lot of space. Okay, so let's look at thought some of these that I could use perhaps for the cover. I could do a paper, or I could print more of this from Lottie's because there are a lot. I actually really like this one, but I like my idea of this is one of my favorites, but I do like the idea of maybe putting some of these paper images on the cover and kind of like covering it up, if you will. Like this is really fun. That's really neat. And these are thin, so it doesn't like take over. Um, and I'm glad to see that they're not doing as much solid as they were doing. I noticed they got into a habit of doing a lot of solids. Um, this is a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go look through the Witchy collection too. I am like kind of like to have my cover mapped out a little bit before I get started. You did a lot of fussy cutting. So you love fussy cutting, Ellen. I love fussy cutting too. It becomes very therapeutic for me. Okay. So this would be good. Just something I think a little bit, let's see. Oh, see, now we have a little bit like that. I like that. Oh, now they got into the whole vellum realm. Yay them. I'm actually glad they did that. That's really exciting. I noticed Michael was jumping on that bandwagon too. Okay, I just wanted to get a few. I'm gonna do this one for the cover, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm really gonna zhuzh up. So I'll just put this down here as the base, and then I'm gonna zhuzh up the cover with a something from the kit that makes it real that makes it stand out, and then it'll kind of strengthen it as well. So this is thin. It's kind of counterproductive to what I said I wanted to do. Um, but no worries because once you get piling up in this journal, you're going to notice it doesn't feel weird or wonky or anything like that. So these are a lot of fun. Some of these images might be like a little bit like weird for people, but like I really like this. And I'm not so in love with that, but I love that. So that would be fun. I could pile those two up together. Let's see. And then it just kind of sets the tone for what maybe the journal is going to be about. This is a good one. I like that for the back. I do like the crows. Like, a lot of people don't like crows, but I do like the crows. So I like that because that's more of like a Valloween. Or I like wolf. So we'll decide. Okay, so those are going to be my covers. And then we're going to start on a few signatures. I kind of like to get the cover out of the way first. Um, just so I feel like I'm in a good position. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, I think this is going to be my solid, and I'm going to probably make a pocket, and then I'm going to make something in the center. My computer's trying to shut down next to me. So, okay, so that's probably what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's measure this a little bit. Let's try. I am at about 6 inches by 6 by 9 is where I am with this. So let's get out my trimmer. And at least once we kind of have the cover going, we know we have a direction of what we're going in, right? So we have 6, and I'm still learning this new darn paper trimmer. I really like it. I do like it, but I'm still learning the measurements of it. My other one was so like detailed. Okay, let's move some of these magnets. Okay, 6 by 9. And if I cut it a little bit short and you start to see the manila envelope in here, no worries. You can ink it up. You could, start putting ephemera on it. I cut that just right. Or this could be the cover. I don't know. I really like it though. So let's decide. We're gonna do. I'm gonna cut it this way because there's the perforated edge right there. And if that bothers you, it sometimes does bother me a little bit, but it's really easy for these pages to come in and out of these paper books. So that's really exciting. So I don't know if any of you guys have checked out Lottie's Magic Attic. I will put her Facebook group in the link. So if you want to see what other people are doing with her kits, you can kind of get some inspiration in there. It's a really good fun, another corner of the crafty community that's really positive. She spreads a lot of positivity and I do like that. She's very creative. I am on her design team, so I do enjoy that. So as much as I want to use these guys, I like this better. And I think I want to make this the cover and maybe, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'm still deciding, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Do I want to do, see, I like these two together too. That's why I like a good pocket would be nice for that. Okay. So let's just cut this. Like, how would I want a pocket? So this is, I'm just going to cut this in half. Honestly, I'm just going to cut it in half. And what are we at right here? At like almost 7.5. So let's do, how big do we want our pockets? Let's see. How big? This is where the pencil comes in handy. Like up the page like that. I kind of just like that, to be honest. It's a nice deep pocket. Well, we could do it a little bit less. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pencil and I'm just going to trace on here. Now I know, Ellen, you were fussy cutting and you're crafting. Are you going to be crafting and watching the Bad Bunny concert as well? Or what will you be doing during that time? It's funny because I saw a TikTok that said 101 things to do in San Diego during the Super Bowl because he was just saying how he normally, like, because he's probably down in San Diego is what I assume. The city's so overrun with tourists at certain times, and he likes to go out during the Super Bowl and go do things. So I know some people, like when my kids were really little, like we did go to a lot of Super Bowl parties and stuff. We did do that because we were a big football family and my son played football. My ex-husband was the coach and I was the team mom and like it was like a lot. But I was pretty burnt out of football at that stage of the game. I would go to the craft store. I would go somewhere or do something. And then half of the fun for me was making the goodies, right? For Seattle, yes, of course. Good old West Coast team. I'm from the Seattle area originally. I really like their values, what they stand for. I like where their money goes. We're in such a predicament right now with the awful media that any bright light, I like it. Okay. So I'm going to cover up my poor crows. I really like them. And I think that the artwork is done pretty well on this. But at least then now I will have my cover. And then I'm going to start working on my signatures. I'm going to fussy cut a few things. And you can kind of see where a project like this would come together fairly quickly. We want to get the bones of the project together the best we can. Try to fill in all the blanks here. Um, because then once that is finished, we go into the decorating portion of it. And we can get that's what the ephemera part of the kit is really good for. Okay, so I try to smooth this out because this is fairly thin paper. So if you don't have a glue press like I do, or you don't have a fine tip glue, like something like this, I recommend a some sort of silicone makeup brush or sponge or whatever, and then just kind of smooth out the glue on it so you won't get big glue marks um on your project. Okay, so I'm going to leave this like this because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a journal topper, and that'll probably be like a different video. But where did now I'm losing things. Oh, here it is. It was just confused. I was confused. So I'm going to make this my pocket, and simply stated how I'm going to do it is normally I put something. I'm trying to see if I have anything thick enough. And I do. I put something under here when I'm gluing it down because that's kind of training the paper and manipulating the fibers a little bit. I'm going to put my finger where I want the glue not to go. So no glue right there. That's where our finger is. And there we go. Just a thin little line. My really good friend is actually in Puerto Rico right now. That's her home turf. She's in Puerto Rico for her cousin's wedding. So she is going to be celebrating with her family in Puerto Rico. So that's very exciting. And then I just take this out. So it just makes it a little bit easier. You can kind of see where it's a little bit ruffled, but it's okay. And then we'll get the inside going on. I want to save all of these for the inside of my journal. And so that's why I'm using like the paper to decorate it. I want the 13 love letters to go inside because the 13 love letters is going to be based off of my positivity for the month or for the year. Um, and I really want to zhuzh it up that way. And I'm always looking for an excuse to use my paper books. I really like this. Although we're not very peacock centered around the project, but I think that that's okay. I like it. I do like it. I think it's fun. And if you like something on crafting and you think it's like a good time, then go for it, right? I do like this, but I like this as well. So that's a good one too. But there's stickers on the other side. I will want those. Let's see. Now we get into the thicker cardstock, which is enjoyable. That one's really neat too. I think I'm gonna go towards that one because I think it'll match. Oh, that's a lot of fun, right? Gonna have to remember that for my New Year's Eve. My New Year's Eve journaling. So a lot of this is just kind of like going through, picking and choosing what you want to go through. And that's where I'm going to leave that. And it's 6 by 9. And then we can make tuck spots here. So we're just covering all of this up is what we're doing, covering all of it up. And see, it goes a little bit over. I'm not really going to be mad at that. I can cut it down, but I'm going to wait till I glue this down in case if I accidentally do that over there. I like to mix and match a lot of the kits with a lot of the things I have because as crafters, we tend to curate and then hoard like it is my precious. And then we forget to use. And that's what I do with these paper books. So I don't always use them, but I like them and I look through them. And sometimes, like, I have to see what's on. I have to, and I'll be like, oh, I want to use that for this or whatever. And months later, it's still sitting on my bookshelf as pretty as ever. Okay. And then I'll want to shut that to make sure. Okay. And so all we have to do is be careful of the whole direction. And then we'll get into Tracy's hit. And really, that's going to be the bones, like the innards of Arthur. It's just focusing on her kit. Okay. So we'll kind of measure it up here. Make sure we can close it. And then set that aside. And then there we go. This is really neat too. But I do like this. I think this really stands out. I think I'm probably going to put that on the back. Then we're just going to glue it. Now, have you guys ever made a journal like this? I find this to be the easiest journal to make. It gives me the most diversity for my creativity. I can make it a flow journal. I can sew a signature into a journal like this. Manila envelopes are not expensive. I've done fabric spines on these. I also like using, although I'm not as good, I'm gonna have to say to make sure this can close. Like little like Jiffy boxes, macaroni and cheese boxes, things like that. I have a harder time keeping my signature because those you could do double signatures in, and I've done those. That's what I did my June sober journal this last year. And so I those aren't as polished for me, but I do like using them. But this is my favorite type of journal to make. That and the one that I showed you at the beginning of the stream, I really like using that tall traveler's notebook inspired type journal. I try not to like pigeonhole myself into like a type of journal because once the creativity gets going, like it morphs into my own little creation and not a standard size of what it's supposed to. I think my glue is getting clogged. I did put the lid on it last night before I left my craft room. I made my craft roulette card last night. So I don't know if any of you guys follow along with Mary Gunn fun and the whole craft roulette crew on Friday nights. I did watch it. That's when I was finishing my homeworks. I knew I was like, well, I finished it yesterday, but that's when I was getting like a big bulk of my homework done because I was after work on Friday. So I was like, no, I want to play with my grandson on Saturday and I don't want to be stuck on Sunday, you know, doing the homework thing. So I had her on, she had Caitlin on, and her paper Ganza tickets are for sale. I really wanted to go in person this year. Like that was kind of my goal. But the price of those tickets really went up. And now they do virtual tickets, and that's still looking a little bit expensive for me. And I bumped my camera. I'm sorry. Um, so and that's in August. So I don't know if we'll be able to join virtually. I'm not going to be able to go in person because that whole weekend would be very expensive. Okay. Okay. So there we go. We're probably going to add some pockets. And this is the bulk of the journal. So now we're going to start to really get into featuring Tracy's kit. And before I get going, because I know I said she has a Facebook group, I want to put in her Facebook group in the chat and let you guys know where you can get inspired as well. Take another sip of my tea. And I'm going to just kind of leave my scraps over here because the majority of these I will save and I might want to use some of them in here. Okay, let's get into it now. Now we have this journal and I'm going to do a journal topper. I don't know exactly how I want to do that. I could do something like this on it. I know it doesn't thoroughly match, but I'm not needing everything to be as matchy because this is going to be my own journal. Or I could really like zhuzh up one of these cards and put some lace around it and really bring it up and make it a pocket. So this just comes with so much. So I'm going to do one signature today. I'm trying to get through the ephemera part because I don't know how I organized it. I probably didn't organize it is what I did. But let's get to the pages. There we go. And then this is the ephemera that I want to use. There's way more in this kit. So this isn't just it. This is just what I wanted to use to get started with this journal. I'm going to probably put these in between a few more stable pieces of paper. And then I'm just going to fold this down. That's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to slide it in here. And see, I have a little bit of space on top and I have a little bit of space on the outside. So I have space to open and close it. I have space to fatten this up. And that's all I'm doing. And I'm probably going to do my bone folder to really crease these papers down because this paper that I print off of is a little bit thicker. So we're just going to pile it up. And does anybody have any good snacks that they're preparing or a good meal that they're preparing for the Bad Bunny concert today? I have a sourdough in the fridge right now that's finishing up its cold fermenting. I don't know all the terms technically. I mean, I think I do. And then I hear somebody else say it. And I'm like, wait, am I wrong? Are they wrong? What is it? I have glue on this. But I'm doing a Valentine's Day loaf and I'm going to bring it into work for Valentine's week because it's going to be a short work week for me. I'm so excited. So excited. It's going to be a 4-day week for me and I'm the early supervisor all week going in. So I'm going to be on call too though. So you got to take the good with the bad. So that means I'll be on call next weekend. But it being a holiday weekend next weekend, I took an extra day off and I have a craft fair to go to. My friend's daughter is going to be showcasing her jewelry. So that'll be nice. So Friday the 13th. But anyway, so I have a sourdough loaf going. Friday the 13th, I wanted to create a special project, is what I was getting ready to say. I have a sourdough loaf going, and the inclusions are freeze-dried strawberries and dark chocolate chips. And I thought that that would be a lot of fun for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to keep half of the loaf and slice up the other half of the loaf and bring that into work. And now that I've discovered your sourdough is a little bit healthier once it's been frozen, I've been freezing a lot of my sourdough. And then you can go back to it. So I do like doing that. I like this as the front page because I think it kind of matches this. Not that I need everything matchy, but I want it to make a little bit of sense. So see, I'm just going to stick these in here and get this going. And doing the reverse printing really helps because it lets you maximize your pages. And this is going to be a signature. I could make that the middle of this thing. That's what I'll do. Yeah, I'll just stick with it. Okay. So let me get my clips that I have up here. And these might be too big, actually. because this signature isn't as thick as some of my other ones that I've done. So I'll just use my other little clips that are going to be good. And I try to clip it down the best I can. I really like sewing in signatures because to me it feels really stable. And with the elastic, you have to be mindful that the elastic's going to be rubbing on the paper as well. So you don't want that to break down the integrity of the paper and start ripping it. I'm going to get out my junk journaling bag that's not to offend anyone, does have a naughty word on it, but it's fun. Then I have white. I have the white cord too. So I wanted to use the black for this. So I have to get out everything. And then I have some black waxed thread. And I just purchased a kit on Amazon for $8. It was nothing major. I did get extra stuff like this because I was starting to lose my needles in the bag. So that was nice. Okay. So the real experienced junk journalers are going to tell you that you need 3 times the length of this for a signature. I do 4 because I like to always try to tie in a bow and it doesn't always work out. But my clumsy fingers get in the way sometimes. Okay. So there we go. So that's what I do. I always get out the biggest needle that I have, and it's probably because it's probably a vision thing, but it has the biggest, it's like stuck in the felt. Okay, there we go. But it has the biggest hole where I can thread it. And I don't double thread. You can double thread, but I don't. And then I just put it through. And then here we go. And then I just like let it meet up in the middle. And these little clips that I have here from, these are Dollar Tree clips. They will get caught up in the, oopsie, and they'll move and they'll get caught up. So kind of just be careful about that because they'll get caught and it's happened to me and then I've gotten in the weeds. And so all as I do is I don't measure, you can measure. I just poke a hole at the bottom, what I deem to be the middle, and then more towards the top. And I don't do like the very edge of the top or the very edge of the bottom because I feel okay, here it is. Because I don't want it to rip. And then I always try to put the lids back on. And then where you begin is where you're going to end. So I always try to do the bow in the middle. So I begin in the middle, inside in the middle. Okay. And then I try to leave enough left over. We will see. Now I bumped my head in the camera. Apologies. If that works out, or if I need to borrow more from it, no worries. But I make that as taut as I can without ripping. And then make sure that my clips are not going to be eating my thread. And I just poke it through. And tighten it again. And then right back in the middle. Oops, right back into the middle. Well, if I can see, I had a weird angle. And there we go. Okay. And I make that as tight as possible. I can get rid of these guys now. So now they were starting to get in the way. Put those over to the side and I just have them clipped to my little shelf that I have here. Oops, I need my scissors. I'm going to tie a knot and then I'm going to tie a bow. That's what I'll do. Put my needle back on here. So that's it. And you don't have to burn the edges or anything. So if you didn't have this waxed thread, you could use like embroidery thread. You can do that. You just have to be careful if the edges are going to fray, so you might need to burn the edges. Okay. And then this is how I do it. So I'm doubled up right here, but that's just because I did the 4 lengths. You can do the 3 lengths. I mean, you find what works for you, but see, I like to double it. So that worked out nicely. So this just is the middle now. This doesn't always work out as nice as I want it to. Today is a good day. Um, so that's my signature. And that is going to go in here. And then I'm going to put the elastic. I'm going to put the elastic around the edge right here. And before we go, I will do that today to show you how that's done. And then I'm just going to slide it in and out. I like to do it this way. It's more stable. I decorate it and then I put it in the journal. So I hope that explains it a little bit. Ellen, I think you're probably very experienced at this, and I do like watching how other people do things too, like when I'm on YouTube lives and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I do it that way, but I didn't think of this or that, or oh, that's fun. That's. So okay. Let's see here how we want to start decorating. I love these envelopes. I do like cutting these envelopes and making those. I love all of these. I think I'm going to start with my doilies because hear me out. I'm going to start with the pocket too because I want to spray them. And that's going to take a minute to dry. And it's a very beautiful day here where I am today. I think it's going to be like 80 degrees. So it's just like gorgeous, gorgeous morning. Um, Afternoon now. It's noon now here. So I'm going to take 3 of these. And what I can do is the larger ones, you can take these, oops, and put them in between pages. You could make this just be a decorative spot. I could cut it down. It can become a pocket. Like this one's pretty thick. Oh no, it's because there's like 3 of them there. That's why. I was like, wow, that one's really thick. Um, because I have the whole flow journal going on, I can put this in between the elastic as well if I want to do that. So I'm going to spray these 3 down because I want to add these somehow in this journal. And then I want to get them sprayed. So let me go get my distress sprays. Okay. So I'm just off to the side because I have a whole craft cart with my paints in it. And I have my splat box. Um, Oh, Ellen, let me know how that works out. That sounds fun. I've not made a journal out of chipboard because that seems like it'd be very thick. So I had to turn my fan on. That's what the beeping was. Um, I just don't want it right on I don't need it right on my project. Okay. So we have the slat box. Now, Ellen, have you ever done that before? I have chipboard too in my staff because I used to be a really big cricket cracker. Okay, so what colors are going to be in here? Like a moody gothic Valloween, right? Well, I'm definitely interested to see how that turns out. So please share that. We have a wilted violet, um, crushed grape. That might be better. Funky fuchsia. So I have some delusion sprays and distress sprays. This is more of a lighter pink, rose quartz. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the darker. So I could be real complimentary to see what I want to do. My color wheel out, and this is grape. So it would be in the, let's see. Hold on. We're using this two different ways. So this would be in the violet category. So complementary would be like a yellow, right? Split complementary could be like a orangey yellow or like a yellow green. A blue would be in the tria or the tetrad. Okay, sorry. That's four colors if we want to do that. Okay, so let's try to go directly complementary because I think I have like a vintagey, well, I have mustard seed, but I think mustard seed is going to be way too bright. Pure sunshine. This is like a gold, so this is glittery. So those two would be fun together, I think. I thought I had more neutrals in here. Oh, I have a vintage photo, so that might be a good one too. Okay, so that could be for one of them. And split complimentary if I want to spritz like a little green or something in here, but I have salvage patina, and that's like a bright. My mica stains, like I have stuff. I mean, I don't have as much as some people do. We have parf pumpkin. This is really the only green one that I have, and it's not really green, it's like a blue. So let's just stick with those two colors to start on that one. And then let's mix it in with the red. I like using my color wheel. I was reading your comments. I'm sorry. Okay, so red and green, they obviously really go together, but we decided we don't have any greens here. So let's do pinks. I have my bag is really old, so it's like got strings everywhere. Um, I have candied apple. I have a cocktail party. Let's see. Bubblegum pink. We want to get some real bright pinks in here. We could do that. Yuletide. That's going to be like a darker red. That might be fun and real moody. I really thought I had like a shiny bauble. That's blue. I really thought I had like a Christmas green in here. Oh, I do. I have Merry Mint. Honestly, I'm gonna use those two together, I think. Okay. And then with the last one, we could just get real funky if we want. Let's determine how those are gonna go together first, I think. Because I really think this with a splash of red would look nice. It would look funky. I don't know about nice, but it'd look funky, I think. Okay. So for our small one, we want to move our journal out of the way. We want to move our 13 love letters kit out of the way because we do not want to get that all messy. Okay. I'm hoping you can see me. So once I'm settled here and once my delay is a little bit caught up, we can determine. Okay. I'll make sure I got everything here. Um, I really want to do purple, and this is an ink spray. So this doesn't have the ball in it, but I do like to flip it upside down and mix it up anyway. You could kind of mix it up however you want because I don't use these every day. I mean, honestly, I just don't. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray the back just to kind of see how that sprays in. You can't really see because this is what I do, but I'm gonna try to spray up here. And that's where I'll leave that. And then this one I will mix up, and this one does have the little ball inside, and this is pure sunshine. And I might, I'll flip it a different way and kind of spray it a different way, or I could move this around. But I have the fan just hitting it to when I set it off to the side. It should have time to dry to go in my journal. And if it doesn't today, it doesn't today. I'm not worried about it. Okay. I'm going to do a test spray first. So I am going to pick this up. See, it's not. There we go. It takes a minute to kind of prime it. So I've got inky fingers. I'm not that worried about it. I got a little bit here. Spray it. Not spray it down. Wipe it down. So I love this glass mat because it cleans. Cleans over everything. I'll just wipe this off my fingers. I'll probably be stained. Just shows that I had a good time. Okay, so I'm going to take this off to the side and I am going to let it dry. Okay, so I used those two. Let's do the red and the green. And so I think I want to spray this red and I want to do the green. I'm not going to do green sprays. I'm going to do green like drops. So we're just making sure that this is stirred up enough. You can see it in here kind of moving around and swirling. This is a mica stain. That's why you can see it like that. I love buying these. Well, Michael's was having a lot of them on sale at one time, and then I realized they're doing that because they were getting rid of a lot of them. But let's see how that can kind of look like a Valloween splatter. Um, and Hobby Lobby did the same thing, but that's where you could pick up a set of them for a little bit less expensive. I hope you guys are enjoying the live today. I know it's a really busy day for a lot of people. So if you're watching the replay, let me know. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And if you're inspired, you could share with some of your crafty friends that maybe need some inspiration along the way. I have a great childhood friend who is just brand new into diving into junk journaling. And so it's been fun, like kind of giving her my tips and tricks. And she's been like just trying to discover the whole YouTube world. Um, and that takes time, but that's kind of how I learned. I honestly could have sprayed this green and done the red splotches, but I'm not going to stress about that either. Okay, let me take a sip of my water. My tea's cold by now. So off to the side, it is curling up, but that's okay. I'm going to let it curl up as much as it needs to and dry. It's wrinkling, but not a whole lot because these were thicker. I did get food grade ones that were thicker. So it could kind of withstand a little bit of moisture and weight on them. And then before I put them in my journal, I'll probably put like a weight or a book or something on them. That's what I'll do. Okay, I'll mix this one up. And I don't know, I think this and purple would be fun. That's like real moody, right? I don't know. What do we want? Okay. So that's going to be like a real dark kind of spray. You can't real, you can, I can tell because I can watch it dry. Although you probably can't tell because I have sprayed everything under the sun on it. Um, or I could do these too. You know what? I could do all of them if I want. I don't know. Just kind of keep it real light. And I like to shake it in between because this is a shimmer spray. So similar to the mica, you're going to be able to see it kind of move around. You're going to be able to see like where it's sticking and if it's clogging in there. Okay. I'm awful. You're supposed to clean these off. You're supposed to wipe them off in between each spray. I don't. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this. There we go. This nozzle is probably a little bit clogged. So I'm going to need to wipe it off. See, it's a little bit clogged. That's okay. Honestly, just a little bit of water will get rid of that. Okay. And then this doesn't have the ball in it, but I still do want to stir it up. Let's see. Okay. And just drops. And if you're a very neat crafter in the craft room, maybe wear an apron. Sorry, I bumped my camera. If I have my camera too high, it'll lose focus or like everything on my craft desk gets a little bit distracting, so it's hard to like focus in on the project. So I'm trying just to do drops of this. Just to where I'm like a little bit happy with it. So you could kind of see where once you have the bones of the journal, the creativity really begins. Okay, and that's where I'm going to leave it. I don't want it to be like too, and this is still curling up. I'm okay with that. This one does look a little bit Christmassy, but you know what? I'm fine with that too. So I'm going to set this off to the side. Everything is kind of set off to the side. So I have to move things. I'm going to put these away and then I'm going to cut out a few elements. And I try to keep everything the best I can in a color family. I do my best. And let's see, green. And then and then I also have a resist spray too. I've never used it. Should probably get with it and start using stuff, right? And this thing did come with labels, but I don't label them. I just like using it like this and pulling them out as drawers. And then it has a handy dandy handle on it. Set that aside, and that's on my rolling cart next to me. Okay, let's do a pocket. You're welcome, Ellen. I'm glad that you enjoy it. It's always nice to get a little bit of creative inspiration from others and be inspired. What I really like about these kits is Tracy makes this so you don't have to do what I did at the very beginning, which is add some padding when you're making a pocket to manipulate the fibers and the paper. She creates these little flaps that are going to glue up, and that's going to create the space. So it just takes out an extra step. But you can really make pockets out of anything if you want. I also like that she just makes this corner pocket design, and so it's really easy. Okay, so if you don't do anything else today, remember to take part in some self-care. And if you're with me, this is counts as your self-care time. Um, I like to do several self-care things over the weekend so I don't go back to work feeling empty and depleted, kind of how Friday can sometimes leave you. I like to feel a little bit energized. I read more of my book this morning. It's The Golden Girls Cozy Mystery. I'm thoroughly, thoroughly enjoying it because it took a few different storylines from a few different episodes and went with one big story. And it all kind of meshes together and makes sense. And I like it. I like it. Um, I have a few audiobooks that I've been attempting to listen to this year. Just not cutting it. The narrators for those audiobooks, I had to return them early. But I have a few more waiting in the wings for me that I have on hold in my Libby app, um, that I have high hopes for because there's a really long wait for them and they're brand new. So there's that. So I do use my bone folder just to crease this a little bit. You don't have to. This is what I do because it makes it easier for me to bend it. And really kind of crease it down, you see. So this is going to be an ongoing project over the next probably few weeks for me. Um, so I won't be able to be finishing the whole project today, but I am going to finish the project up in like a video and a few reels. Um, and then post like a final flip through on my YouTube. I've been trying to remember to post a little bit more on YouTube. It has been taking like a solid day or 12 hours at least for these lives to upload onto my channel and before I can make them public. So if the replay tends to be like tomorrow, probably it'll take most of the evening or the rest of the day for some reason. Some people don't have that issue. I don't know if it's because my lives are so long or my channel's so micro mini. um, I don't know, honestly, but whatever. They'll be there in the live section. I just didn't have time this week to do a standalone video. I wanted to. Um, that's what I'm going to try to work on a little bit more of as well. Is do a live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then do like a edited video. Technically it's edited. I'm not a very big editing person. I know just enough to post something that doesn't look extremely polished, I guess. But it's okay. There's also needs to be a lot of honesty in crafting because not everything is a perfect finished project, and social media is very deceiving that way. Okay, so here we go. So these pockets are ready to rock and roll. I don't need to do anything else with them. So we could kind of decide where we want them. I mean, we could be extremely matchy-matchy, but I don't want to be that matchy-matchy. But or we could do them this way if we want to do that. Kind of like that because I like the dark on the dark on the light. And yes, It's a little bit directional funky, but it's okay. We could do it this way too. Like no big worry. See, I kind of cut off that part that Tracy gave us to fit down on the page. I accidentally cut it off, but it's okay. And then I'm just going to put glue on the flaps. And here we go. We'll just match it up with the end of our page the best we can, which isn't going to be perfect because I probably didn't fold it perfectly. But you see, I didn't have to put anything in between the page and the pocket to get it to do that. So I think this is be fun right here. And you could put these pockets anywhere, to be honest. I mean, this is upside down, but it's, whatever. You could really just kind of put them at the corner wherever you want. You decide. You're the creator of your own journal destiny. Actually, you're the creator of your own destiny just in general, but speaking in terms of this, you decide where you want the pockets to go and if that directional bit is going to bother you or not. And I kind of fold it down just to make sure it's not going to super stick. I'm going to add like a lot of lace and things going in with this as well. Really, really like these. We can make a few of these. And my chair is sliding away while I'm in it. And this shows you the finished product. So that's nice because these can get real fussy to cut. So I always just kind of trim this off and leave it up there so I remember what the final project is going to look like. Okay. I might need to get out my cutter bees to get these finer points, but we'll see. Sometimes I just need like a smaller scissor. And if I can't get right up to the edge, or if I find that I'm like needing to cut off too much detail for what I'm happy with, I will ink it up. I'll get out my cutter bees. I'll do the best I can, and then I'll ink it up. Because I can't always get a perfect cut every time. And I like these because I have to do less cuts, basically. And these do glide along the paper. But I might need like the cutter bees like for that, I think. But the cutter bees are so sharp and fine that they really sometimes glide along the paper without you, and you're like, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. And they're so light too, but I love them. I used to only fussy cut with my cutter bees. Now, what do you guys like to fussy cut with? Like, what's your tool of choice? Like, we all have like our own little favorite scissors, right? So this will be easier. I have a punch too. You could do it like if you have like a little punch, you could do it with that. No, I don't think I did too bad. So let's move on to the next, and then we'll put these together. And I'll try not to keep you guys too much longer, but I would like to get enough of this done to where you're like, oh, now it makes sense. Mixing and matching kits can be exciting and beneficial for busting through our stash. But while the whole premise of this journal is the 13 love letters to ourselves. So if you're kind of doing something similar as the gratitude jar, as I am, maybe you're only able to do it once a month. So then the 13 love letters would be your 13 reasons why you had a great year. I probably need my cutter piece for this, to be honest. but I'm just kind of in the flow and I don't want to have to switch. Um, and that's why I like that Tracy gave us all of the pockets and all of the extra journaling space, if you will, because I can put my weekly gratitude. That's what I can stuff these pockets with. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the cutter bee. And so Tracy designed these to where you don't have to really ink up the edges if you don't want to. I might need to ink up that edge. That wasn't very a clear cut, but it's just highlighted. So you're really cutting like along a line. Oops. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back out my bone folder and I'm just creating a line to be able to fold it. So it folds over nicely. Now, if you have a button stash like I do, here's your opportunity to get out a button to embellish it with the button. Okay. And then we're just going to try to stay along the line. I can't always stay along the line perfectly, but it's okay. Okay. Has the weather improved where anyone is at? We're like in spring. Um, it's been very nice and clear and um like not too warm, not too cold. It's just been perfect. Yesterday got really warm at the park with my grandson, but so when we left there, we met my daughter for lunch, but where we were at the park was a little bit east of us, just like it's in my town, but it was just, the east part of the town. Um, See, I didn't match it up perfectly, but that's okay. And so it was like warm at the park, but then where we went to lunch was like a nice cooler breeze. It was nice. And that's just kind of how it stayed for the rest of the day. Okay, I'm going to glue this. This is how I do these. Okay. And then we have a folder or like a little envelope. Then I'm going to glue along here. Remember, this little fold over piece acts as like a lift for the paper. And that's why before I put the glue on, I like to try to match it up the best I can because I'm not always going to be perfect with this one. And then we could fold that over and probably you could put a little like a gem right here, a button. I like to do the buttons. You could kind of put this in the journal however you want. And she kept the seam of the line right here so I can see where to put my bone folder. It's just, I hope my bone folder stays in line, which is really me controlling the bone folder, right? I can't always do everything in a straight line. Okay. There we go. And now just because I did the bone folder doesn't mean it's just gonna magically fold over where the crease is. I kind of still have to guide it. If I put it in my scoreboard, it would. But I didn't do that because that would have been an extra fussier step. And this is just something extra I kind of do. And so I kind of want to match that up the best I can. Because not everything's going to be perfectly in line because I did it. Maybe yours will be. And then that will be this one. And then we just have to glue these down. And I want to get out a few more of these embellishments from this kit, and let's do like a few tuck spots. And because this is a gothic, um, like a gothic romance, I think my the faux tape will work nicely in this journal. I'm glad you like it. Thank you, Ellen. It's fun, like once you can kind of see a vision come together and all the little fussy bits are making more sense. Okay. And instead of like fighting with the paper, because I probably did not fold it perfectly straight, this is what I use my bone folder for. I just kind of guide it that way. And it gives it a really nice crease. Okay, there we go. We could put these in our journal several different ways. We could use it this way. We could put it in a pocket. I lost the word again. We could we could Velcro it. So we're snapping it on and off. I don't really quite know how I want to do those, but I do know I want to embellish these with the buttons. And welcome, welcome, Tracy. So we're working with the 13 love letters kit today, and I want to get out a few more embellishments and do some tip ups and tip outs. And let's cut these. I'm glad you made it. It's always better late than never, right? Because at least you took some time for self-care. And we don't always get to like dedicate a whole heap of time to that in one sitting. So if you can just make a little bit of that, then you're winning. I really love this. And this image is the one that I printed on my tea dye paper. And you see the coloring is way different. But I wanted to do this to make a more gothic vintagey look in my journal. So I did do this on purpose. This is just copy paper, so it's not craft paper quality. This is matte photo paper, so the coloring really comes out different depending on your paper. And just like my glitter paper is a photo paper, but because of the element of the glitter, the coloring comes out maybe a little bit grainy or a little bit broken up, not as smooth and vibrant. But it'll still come out like very pretty. I love printing on my tea dye paper. And so if my tea dye paper, if I haven't like really broken it down too much, I really like to feed it through my printer because it can clog it up a good portion. So I try not to stack this too heavy because we are on tea dyed paper, but I like putting these two together, I think. Or that. Oh, ooh, I like that. Okay, I think I'll do this. I think I changed my mind. I'm going to get out my cello tape. I did purchase, it's off to the side of me, like burnt faux vintage tape. And of course, it's made in China, but it's like burnt, like washi tape. And it came in a pack of 3 for like, nope, it came in a pack of 4. It's 4 of them. For like $7. So maybe I'll try to use some of that in here because that could be real gothic-y romantic, I think. And I'm just gonna make this like a tip out right in the middle of the page. I think that the grays really, the gray and the pink and the black and the moth, I think it really complements it. I'm gonna double do this because I didn't do it perfectly even. So that's always an option when you're using any faux tape as well. And then we could ink that up. We could write a note. One of our love letters to ourselves could go there. And let's make a few of these. I want to make it like a tuck spot on top. Um, and I decided, Tracy, that I want to use this journal that I'm making as the 13 love letters basically to myself. So my gratitude jar that I'm doing at the beginning of all my lives are going to go in here. At the end of the year. And that's why I like the fact that there's so many pockets and everything and envelopes and spaces and lots of ephemera in this kit. And I want to be able to expand this journal, not just make this journal that, but I want to make it for like future uses too. So this could isn't like super directional. This flower, that's what a nice thing about flowers. They don't have to be like super directional. So I'm just going to glue this up here because that's how I want it. I think though, I want to get out my ink. I have walnut stain, which is real dark and moody, or I had my brushed corduroy, which all of my things are out of order. I have a black soot, which would be fun. Ay, ay, ay. I found it. I found brushed corduroy, I think is what I want to use. But these are like dark and moody ones as well. We can kind of put those off to the side. Um, where's my, oh, it's right here. I did not put this away. Okay. So I'm just going to, because these are a little bit matchy, but I like them together. I think that they're so complementary, but I want it to stand out a little bit. I don't want this tuck spot to get lost or not get the representation that it deserves, because maybe whatever we're going to tuck in there, we want it to stand out a little bit. So we're going to want this to stand out a little bit too. And any imperfections in my cutting are going to be hidden by my inking. So there's that too. We do not have to be expert fussy cutters. Okay, let's put that to the top. Oh, it's okay. I'm glad you're watching. I'm just going to put this right at the top. I just want to make sure I'm doing it all at the same time. I do a lot from the car, passenger or not. And then this will just be able to tuck this up right here. And we don't want to start tucking stuff up too quick. We do want it to dry off, right? So we have more of this, probably do another one of that, put this down here. I'm going to get out some buttons. I just kind of wanted to cut up this piece, and I'm going to try the best I can to get this rounded edge. If I screw it up too much, I'll get out my crocodile and I'll round it. Like my corner chomp punch or whatever it's called. I have a few of these things sitting over here and they all have different names. They're all my crocodiles. I watch a lot of YouTube lives on my way to work. And tend to do it as like a podcast. So, and I tend to get a decent amount of traffic on my way to work too. So there's a lot of stop and less go sometimes. So I can type in something really quick from my folder. It's my phone's in its little cradle. Yeah. I mean, that's probably not the best, but that's what I do. And then a lot of my audiobooks will be throughout my day when I'm driving to and from clients' houses. I have a few podcasts I listen to as well. Um, and then on the way home, I'm just like kind of burnt and brain dead sometimes. So that's what I'll do, either the loud music or the audiobooks too. But I can't do the YouTube thing unless if I'm like really zoned in and fresh. Okay. Now remember, this is just one signature. And here is like the cover of the journal. And this is just going to be, it's going to be a flow journal, but I'm sewing the signatures by themselves and it's going to go with the elastic. So this is just one signature. I am going to be making another one with this same kit. So, we don't have to like feel like we have to cram everything into this one section, really. Okay. And what we can do is we don't have to make everything highlight or ink, whatever, ink blend everything with this brush corduroy. I'm probably going to throw some black soot in here too, because it is a Valloween inspired project for me. Um, that I'm going to want to kind of play up on that as well. And I think my doilies are probably dry by now. So I'm going to go check on those and bring those over here and see if they are dry. And you see, because of how Tracy did the design, it's just script. Like, is it right, wrong, up or down? It's not right or wrong how we put it because it's not like we don't have to sit there and read the words to it, right? Let's try some of this burnt washi tape instead of the cello tape. I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think I want to use the one that's already in my hand. Yeah, I do. I think I want to use this one. Um, we exactly do. We have to make the craft time as we can. Okay, how am I going to open this? So this didn't come with as much. Maybe it wasn't as good of a deal as I thought it was. Because I was like, oh, that's like, it gave me a lot for very inexpensive. And they're calling them the X Files. Okay. I mean, I did buy it on Amazon, not Temu. So there is that. And it did say small business. Okay. That's where we are with that. Okay. Oops. And it should be sticky. I mean, this is like new for me. I guess I wasn't done with my tweezers. Oh, here we go. Oh. Oh, looky. That's not, well, it's not opening. Okay. I mean, this could be user. Oh, okay. It is a sticker. Oh. I don't really know what's happening. Oh, okay. I see now. Excuse me. User error always, right? Okay. So this is going to be a sticker and I'm just going to try to see where I can peel it. Oh, it's very, very fine though. Like paper thin. And then we're going to try to fold it over like the cello tape. Look, I couldn't even get it on there straight, but you know what? It's a miracle we even got it off the spool. So there we go. So there's that. So that's fun, right? Okay, let's do one more of these. And then that will be that whole page of ephemera that got used. Very exciting. And if you guys are really into like the whole Valentine's Day, Valloween, Galentine's Day, if you love Halloween, I put the link to Tracy's Facebook group, which is Lottie's Magic Attic. And I know that that's not what the Facebook group is called. Lottie's Magic Attic Keepers of Memories. Um, so that's the Facebook group. She does Junetober. So I know I'm probably new to most of you because I have like a micro channel, but I've been posting like on Instagram and stuff for the last 2 years for Junetober, and I absolutely love it. Um, but if you want to get information about that, that'll be over there. And that comes up in June, and we're already first week of February is gone. February is our shortest month. January was our longest, most treacherous month. But June will be creeping up on us before we know it. So, okay. I don't want to keep everybody too long. I know they gotta get to where they gotta be getting to. I know Super Bowl parties are gonna be underway and um the afternoon gets going. My sourdough is not going to cook itself, kind of thing. So we could stamp something here. I just don't know exactly what I would want right there, but I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to use the tape again because I bought it, so I might as well use it. I don't know if it's like going to be a staple in my crafts room, but it's something fun, interesting, and different. Oh, yay. I'm excited you guys started planning. I love Junetober. I love, love, love Halloween because it's a no pressure holiday for me. Well, now I have a grandson, so I get to go trick or treating. It's still a no pressure holiday for me. I don't have to like host a big dinner. Um, I don't have to prepare a whole season of magic that I need a week to recover from, things like that. And I do love the spooky and whimsy part of all of that. Okay. So this is going to be another tip out. And I'm going to try to make this as even as I can, which that's as even as I could for that moment. So that's okay. I'm going to fold it over. Remember, you could staple these. You could make your own faux vintage tape. Do what you will. Just kind of, we're going to leave it there for now. I'm going to get out and look, I have a whole plethora of stuff still that I printed out that I am going to be using. Um, so we have lots more magic to make in this journal, which I'm very excited about. My video, oh, now I'm knocking everything over as I'm trying to put it away. My edited video that I'm going to be making this week is going to be dedicated to this journal. So let's get out the doilies that we did. Let's get out the buttons and decide what buttons we want to put. I have a button collection next to me. Let me get out my jar. And I knocked something down on my pegboard, but I have the buttons. So I want to put these in. These I want to put as little folded spots in the journal. So I'm going to do that next, but they are dry. And then these I want to put like little buttons on. And I think these ones are more of like my whimsy buttons. I don't really have like an order. I'm just looking from the side. But you see, I have a lot of, oh, that's fun. I have a lot of these fun buttons. I will buy buttons. I'll walk down the button aisle at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, wherever. Oh, perfect. perfect. I like these too. Um, and I buy buttons, so I have a bit of a button collection going on. Um, but I really like to add buttons because I used to sew a lot more than I do now, which I really had to downsize my craft space to accommodate my kids. And then making a space in my home for my grandson too. So I'm in much smaller area than I used to be. Um, but I just recently, oh, did I lose that button? Put it away, didn't I? Of course I did. Um, I have my sewing machine set up now kind of next to me so I can start sewing on my cards and stuff. So I could just like walk over there and sew really quick. So that's what I want to start incorporating a lot of that into my card making. Okay. So I'm just gonna plop some um Fabri-Tac down and put my finger over it. This isn't meant to hold this down. This isn't meant to attach this. This is just meant to embellish it as part of to let us accent the ephemera kit. Okay, so this is going to take probably a little bit. Let me set this off to the side because that is wood. I'm going to set that off to the side. We're going to just, oh, we're leaking Fabri-Tac everywhere. That happens. That happens. Okay, and I'm just going to press it here. And then we're going to leave that there. I am going to set something heavy on this one as well. And then that's how I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to clean that off. I store this upside down so when it starts to go, it's like a faucet. Okay, so let's get into these and then I will let you guys go. Um, I think these would be fun. Where's my middle? Here's the middle. Remember the bow worked out just fine. I think these would be fun probably like in the middle somewhere. You could use this as like a little bit of a tuck spot. I could just lay it flat down. I don't know. I think though I have kind of a little bit of a oh, see now. So that's see, this is my tea dye paper. But what is one great thing about making like a gothic journal and doing the tea dye on the images is if it rips, that's okay. We're just gonna zhuzh it up a little bit. See, no harm, no foul. The paper is no longer gonna rip anymore, and I can like I can reinforce that. Um, let's see, right here. I need to get out my new pack of this, I think. Um, and just do that. And so then that just becomes like part of that becomes part of it. So we could just put this like as a decorative accent on the side, glue it down, and then you can still see through it. Or we can do that so it's not too, oh, no, we want it up there because I want that stuff to be seen. So see, we could do that. And that's probably what I'm gonna do. And I am not gonna worry about all the little holes and itsy bitsy pieces because I'm just gonna put as much glue down as I can because this glue is going to dry clear. It'll seep through. It'll be fine. We could even tape it down if we want, but it's just a fun way to incorporate these fun doilies. And I folded this doily in half ahead of time on purpose because I was not about to fold it in half and get what the middle is while it's on here because this is treated doily paper. So it's a little bit sensitive and we don't want it to rip. And then my tea dye paper is really sensitive as well. So that's just how we do that. And that just adds a little something, right? Adds a little something fun. And we could do that with this too. I love this page. I use this page several times. So I'm going to fold this in again. And I used different sizes. You could just lay this flat on the paper and put like an image on top of it or however you want. Um, but I just thought it was fun just to add a little something extra. What I could do is I could just staple along the edges if I wanted to, because I have some decorative staples. Um, and then that we can use this as little tuck spots, or I could just glue, which is that's what I'm gonna do. I think that'll be easier. I'm just gonna glue the center doily piece and we could still use this as like a little bit of a tuck spot in our journal. See? Okay. And see? So we could tuck something in there. I'm gonna leave the and then we have this one, which I think this coloring will, I'm just going to lay this one right here. I'm just going to lay this one flat down, I think. And then I'm going to start I'm going to start piling up the ephemera right on top of it. I hope you guys had a great self-care time with me on this fabulous Sunday. I hope you enjoy the Bad Bunny concert. Go Hawks. I hope you are taking time for what you want to do and don't let yourself get too overwhelmed. And remember the quote that I did today was like, we need to conquer ourselves. We don't just need to be powerful over others. We need to conquer ourselves. And I am getting this mica all over my hands. That's okay. I didn't put like a fixative on it. If that's what you want to do, you could do that. I have hairspray in my stash over here because I do some painting sometimes. And I'll do like Dollar Tree hairspray. I've been looking for Aquanet because I think that's like the ultimate because that would really stick that on there. But if you didn't want this to continue to come off, that's what you could do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick flip through. And this is the cover of the journal, remember? And this is what I used my paper with. And I did a pocket in the back. So this is just the cover of the journal. This is where the elastic is going to go and all of my signatures are going to go in and out of that elastic. So we'll just flip through here really quick. We did some pockets. We made some really good progress on this love letters journal to ourselves. I was excited I got to use some new supplies. So that's always fun. I got to use some old supplies. That always reinforces my crafty shopping fun. And we're just like adding a little bit more texture and building this up and see how this ripped. That's okay. We could also use this, or you could glue it. You could glue it as well. But we could kind of just put this right here. It's just like a little bit of a, this stuff is not easy to come off of. I don't know. This was just kind of a like a impulse buy in my cart. Add to cart. Yep, I'm finished, and then purchase it. I had other stuff in my cart at the time. It came up as a recommended thing. I need to know to not always do that. Okay, so there we are. And then I just put this directly down and I can start building up some ephemera around it. This kit has so much ephemera. I'm so excited to put the ephemera in here and like do a cluster on top of that doily. I think that that'll just look perfect. And see, it even numbers the letters. So if we want to just start making these little tuck spots in our journals, I did put the dates on all my gratitude. We could start tucking them in there. So this will be the journal. This is going to be some of the envelopes to go in the journal. I'm hoping that they had enough time to adhere. I think they did. So what I'm going to do is put these in some pockets so they don't get lost until they find a more permanent home in my journal. And we can decide where we want to put those later. So I'm going to continue on with this journal this week. I'm going to be releasing a video about that, and just going to keep on keeping on, really. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. I hope you get some art therapy in. Oh, a nap sounds delicious. I have to wake up super early in the morning, so I'm not getting a nap because that'll screw up my sleep tonight. But let's just keep creating together, and I'll see you guys here next Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My link tree and everything is in there. And yeah, you want to grab this kit for yourself. The link is in there as well, and it'll also everything will be linked in the description box below if you are reading if you are watching the replay. Have a great day, guys. Bye.